Hi, I am Tony Russo, and this is Brief Introduction from Kates-Boylston, where we talk to people about who they are and why they do what they do. In this episode, we are speaking with Jackson Madnick. He is the founder and CEO of Pearls Premium Grass, and he will be giving a presentation on February 25th about the benefits of this grass and how it came to be developed and all the science and technology behind it, as well as the ecological benefits. But we're going to get to that in the show. Before we get to the show, I do want to let you know that we have a ton of events coming up. And if you're interested in attending any of them, you can find them all at events.kates-boylston.com. One of the things that I'm really proud of about our events is that they're always available. So we try to make the presentations evergreen, but also if you can't make the event, or if you are at the event and you feel it would be useful for someone else, you can always send the link once the event is over. We post it the next day in perpetuity. Once again, that's events.kates-boylston.com. All right, let's get into it with Jackson. So we are so excited to have you come and speak at our cemetery event in February. And before we get to what we're going to talk about at the event, let's talk about you a little bit. How did you get into your business and what keeps you doing what you do?
Well, I've always loved the look of grass and the smell of fresh cut grass, but always disliked just about everything about it. All the water it consumes, the chemicals, the runoff, even the sound of lawnmowers I can't stand. And I wanted to have a better grass. And I've had two careers before, teaching film and making film, and then producing lighting, laser, and non-polluting fireworks, large spectacles all over the world. And I took an early retirement in the year 2000. And then I got interested in grass. In my neighborhood, they talked me into joining the local surface water quality committee. I took a crash course, weekend course in lake and pond management. I found out the number one enemy of lakes, ponds, rivers, the ocean, and watersheds is lawn care fertilizer. And that runs off and creates algae blooms and toxic environments and gets into the drinking water and creates increased risk for a dozen diseases. And so I wanted to see if there was such a thing as a better grass. And I sent away for about 60 plus grasses from around the world that supposedly needed less water and less chemicals. And I grew them for a year and a half on my deck. And after a long, hot summer with no chemicals, very little water, they were all dead. And as far as I could tell, there was no such thing as a low maintenance grass that didn't need any chemicals and needed far less water. And so I decided to create a new one. I've been through 9 years of college in engineering and environmental science. So I know a lot about water and the environment, but I didn't know a lot about grass. So I did some research. I found these 4 PhDs in turf science. They were heads of 4 different universities that their whole world was turf or grass. I leaned on them about what might be better grasses, and they each suggested a number of seeds. And then from those seeds, we narrowed down to 7 special seeds and grew them in thousands and thousands of different proportions of those 7 seeds. They were more drought, disease, bug, and salt tolerant. And finally, after 8 years and over 10,000 trials, we had one aha breakthrough of a seed mix that grew very slow, and now in its 8th generation, 8-foot roots. So it's a breakthrough grass to save people time, money, and water. And what my talk is about is the future of grass to save dramatic amounts of money, time, and water, to improve cemetery grounds, being that lawn maintenance and water bills are the single biggest expense of most cemeteries, and it's a significant expense of funeral homes and also people's homes if they don't
Right.
live at the funeral home. Most people have a lawn or multiple lawns in their cemeteries, their schools, their workplaces. So anyway, so I created this webinar that I've given at different annual meetings from regional and local cemetery groups, but I've never presented here on the internet for the worldwide cemetery and funeral home business. And so this is a unique talk, 45-minute PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to be including lawn secrets and tips to better your existing grass. You don't have to do anything new. It's just tips on how to make your existing grass better from the latest university research. I cover all major known and unknown best management practices for grass to mow and weed whack far less and use less water. You can have dark green organic grass to lessen weeds without resorting to chemicals. People don't know that. And lawn care chemicals are not the number 6 or number 10 most toxic thing in our environment. Lawn care chemicals are the number 1 most toxic thing in our world, according to the Harvard School of Public Health, according to the CDC and the National Institute of Health and the President's Council on Cancer. So you want to get away from and go organic with your grass. And I give tips on how to do that. You can have better looking grass during a drought that grows well in full sun or deep shade, or under trees where most other grass doesn't do well. Also, I talk about tips on lessening mold, moss, deer, and burrowing animals, and having evergreen grass during both extreme hot and cold weather to save time, money, and water.
Does it have to do with the depth of the roots that allows this grass to like outcompete weeds and things like that?
Well, I talk about tips on your existing grass to lessen mowing and weed whacking and water. But this grass we developed is called Pearl's Premium Ultra Low Maintenance Lawn Seed. It's a long title, but it describes what it is. This grass you mow only once a month instead of once a week in sunny areas. And in shady areas, you only have to mow it once every 6 weeks. And if you don't mow it at all, for undeveloped areas of your cemetery or your funeral home or wooded areas or steep hills, you don't mow it at all, and it flops over sideways to become a 3 to 4 inch high no-mow meadow. So you either mow it only once every 4 to 6 weeks, or you don't mow it and let it flop over to be a no-mow meadow. And to save up to 100% on your mowing and your weed whacking. And I talk about other tips in my talk to prevent most weeds in your grass and flowers, and also tips to prevent stormwater runoff and lessen climate change and be a better fire break to hold the soil in place, and tips that tie into a more positive public relations program by having a healthier, non-toxic, non-chemical lawn. You can also be a better destination to attract complementary events that some cemeteries are doing now, like weddings and bird watching and walking or power walking, and different activities that cemeteries are now doing to bring in more people and more income. And then I go over, so it's a 45-minute interesting, fascinating talk if you have any grass in your life to save you dramatic amounts of time, money, and water. And then we'll have a short question and answer session at the end. If you've ever had any questions or bothered by anything about your funeral home or cemetery or your home grass, you can have the best grass in the neighborhood year round with the tips I share.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure to be on.
Brief Introduction is a Kates-Boylston production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening now so that whenever we put out a show, you get it right away. If you are interested in attending this event, please make sure you go and register at events.kates-boylston.com. We would love to see you there. And again, you can register. If you don't make it, you can always download it and listen to it later, which is the best part about signing up for these events in advance. And so we will check in with you next time.